You've not obviously had contact with family members, you just expect basically not even to talk about it behind your back because, it's been a that long for time in the fact of 15 years you've not even spoke to your family properly through having kids, and it's putting all stress on and all basically onto one person. Look, a mild degree just came through in my generation and it's anything guessing words. You can build the reading understanding with obviously target words as well as books. To be honest with you, and you see a lot of it in the fact of spelling the correct way. People gaining to GCSE A level as well as obviously a degree. And this is it, it was only coming through in my generation. And I have to say, for many years when they actually thought people that obviously had a delay that they couldn't do it, that they can do it. It's the other learning style that's failing. The other learning style is obviously permanent speech difficulty and spelling backwards that's unable to be discharged from a speech therapist. Anybody that's been discharged has a very, very good chance of obviously passing exams. So it's the other learning style that's obviously come through. You know what I mean? But I have to say, if you've obviously been in a single parent situation, being caught up in that, and basically they're going off your actual intelligence and they want to because you're having a disagreement with your actual child, and your sisters obviously don't like it. It's got nothing to do with them. You're being over judgmental. To be honest with you, a lot of things only got sorted out in my daughter's generation with education, putting things in place rather than ours. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things. Well, this is what I'm saying. It's like a lot of things are more sort of recognised than what they were, if you know what I mean. If you went back to the 1980's or 1970's, things weren't obviously sorted out properly. You know what I mean? So things have become more aware and different learning styles and everything. More into my daughter's generation, reading records are being given out at school. Everybody's, every child is obviously given a reading record so that the parent could go and support as far as it can, through the actual primary school before it's gone to high school and that. It's a lot more organised than obviously my generation. A lot more things are more organised as well. Because if you build the reading understanding, as in my generation used to use books, it's all gone target words and spellings, different learning styles, you know what I mean? Even that's obviously being recognised as well. So to be honest with you, were you dipping into the older generation here? And saying, well, you shouldn't be obviously intelligent. You don't know the score, you know what I mean? You don't know what's been put into place, different learning styles, how people get there in the fact of completing the levels, the stage levels, to get onto adult books, to become more independent. A lot of things have changed from my generation to my daughter's generation, what's put into place. You know what I mean? You shouldn't really be going off. My sisters and my mother shouldn't be obviously going off what happened when my mother was bringing up kids. A lot of things have obviously changed in schools and everything, in different learning styles on what they can put in place, you see. And this is it, half the time is that you've set somebody up in an actual single parent situation. It's not obviously made for everybody. You're going off obviously intelligence and asking query questions obviously regarding somebody's past. To be honest, I'm having to reconstruct the actual tree as best I can, if you know what I mean. But you're piling on all the work onto one person, if you know what I mean. Because to be honest, it's education is supposed to mend that actual reputation anyway. And to be honest, to give you a good circle of friends as well as get a good partner. So the thing is, in all this, right, when things have not been properly sorted out in my generation and more sorted out in my daughter's generation, I have to say, a lot of people have obviously been twanged into single parent situation, and you've not known what learning style could be overcome. And I'm smirking away because it's I'm lucky in a sense about religion and about obviously education, because I mean, sport has obviously been strong on my father's side of the family, as well as obviously education strong on my mother's side of the family, you see. So I know an awful lot. And then obviously religion put together, and this is it, you obviously put religious as a non-religious, obviously in sport, and that it's not for a specific town or just an actual club. Religion is for an actual worldly thing. And if you've got people coming over playing for our teams and all that, and even playing for against, you know what I mean? It's like you're always going to follow your own religion. There's been different religions for many years. It's like Queen Victoria was obviously on the throne. To be honest, it was like the Church of England especially was put into place because foreign people across the world are under the Church of England or different sort of like religions. So religion in sport is not put just for an actual town or a club. It's put for overall, if you know what I mean, because there's a lot of things. It's like regarding a 50-year service for rugby league, that obviously like that's the whole of different sort of countries that's obviously involved, your UK teams and everything for over like 50 years and various things. There's a lot of change in sport, amateur rugby league to super rugby league before it all goes professional. Do you know what I mean? It's like one sport's taken longer than obviously football, as we know, because of the crowds and depending where you obviously live and what money is obviously available to put into sports. You know what I mean? It's like your inflation goes up and down, your cost of living goes up and down. Everything obviously gets affected, you see. So there's a lot more to it than what you obviously realise. And I have to say, there's no point umming and ahhing just because, like, people obviously go on courses like later on. They've obviously gained, like, qualifications because they've not known enough about like dyslexia. And there's so much out there for different learning styles, like to complete the levels now, and the reading records are put into like primary schools for you to become a more independent reader in high schools and all this. There's just a lot more change. There's no point like moaning saying, well, you was at a low level at school and you